Everybody, welcome back to another week of Do It Like Danny. However, with me still being sick and with this heat wave being so hot, I came up with a little compilation for you guys so there would be a little content for this week. Anyways, let's get right on to the episode.
Here we are, season number 2 of Do It Like Danny. As you can see, we're on our YouTube channel, Do It Like Danny, and we're still on Instagram, and we're still on Spotify and iTunes.
Wait. You didn't say let's start the show.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Let's start the show. I'm going to tell a million stories, and maybe one will hit home, and you'll be like, wow, that happened to me. And it's not about me. Well, it is. You know, television is a very, very crazy beast. I learned so much at Tyra. This is real emotion. This is something that I experienced.
I want the world to see what I have always seen, and that is the love that you have for just being yourself.
I love this person who knows who he is, who can make people laugh.
I think the script I gave you was a little bit different, but I'll take that.
Okay, sorry.
I'm drinking at work because it's my show. I drink on my show.
Season 2, Episode 1, Murphy's Law. Danny details being harassed in San Diego, and our cameras died on our very first episode.
Together, we were having a good time. We weren't hurting nobody.
Yeah.
When we're walking back to my car, and all of a sudden, and we're walking back to my car, and all of a sudden, her husband says, "Do you think you really need those donuts?"
To you or to my aunt?
We don't know, right? So, of course, I know that it's directed at us, okay? And you know me, I process shit fast.
Yeah.
I had already sized up the situation, okay? And I said, is that really how this is going to go down? Is that the example that you're going to set for your children?
Oh, shit.
Because they were in front of their kids.
Yeah.
And he didn't know, like, oh, shit. He's like, oh, my God. Like, they speak English. And I just got my ass handed to me.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not a big area where we were. And people were having breakfast at some taco stand that's in there. People were in their cars.
Witnesses?
They were witnesses.
Oh, Jesus.
So, but he kept going.
Uh-huh.
So then he goes, oh, well, you know, very reminiscent of something if you were in 8th grade.
Yeah.
He's, you know, throwing
come up with
fat
something.
jokes like, oh, you're so fat, right? I'm like, okay, like, thank you. I already went through 8th grade. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now, right? So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
So then he goes after my mom. He's like, is she wearing a mask? She should put a mask on. And I was like, what? And he goes, is that your girlfriend? And I turn and go, that's my mother.
What an idiot.
That's my mom.
Yeah.
Like, it was the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
So, of course, obviously, my mom starts to say, shut your and I go, don't you dare. Don't
give it to them.
Don't give it
Yeah.
to them. Don't stoop to their level. Don't do anything. And I said, just get in the car. It's going to be fine. And I was like, whatever, dude. I go, we're going to get in my car and we're going to drive away. You
In my
have a
nice
nice
Mercedes.
day. Yeah. Yeah. And so that was it. But here's the interesting part. When I looked around, we were the darkest things there.
Got it.
And the people that were in their cars and the people that were eating were looking at us like we were the problem.
Wow.
And so I processed that extremely quickly. Like, oh my God, we look like we're the ones starting the shit. We didn't start this shit. It was that dumb lady who, by the way, now her husband is responsible. I'm sure they get in many fights because she's got a big mouth. For whatever reason, they attacked me and my mom.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm with my mother. What's wrong with you? And he's like, oh, you need another mask. It was just the dumbest thing ever. It was so dumb.
It's just to start shit for no reason.
And I felt so
weird.
bad. But here's the crazy part.
Season 2, Episode 2, Straight Men Love Danny. We explain how and why our cameras died on our first episode.
So let's kind of address the reason why you named episode number 1 Murphy's Law.
You want me to say it?
Yeah, you can go start with your, because you experienced part of it. I mean, I wasn't.
Did. You know,
it's probably better from you too, because like me, I embellish things. I'm very dramatic.
Oh God! The funny thing is I just watched the video of my reaction of when our, I guess, videographer told us that we ran out of camera space or camera battery or whatever the hell it was. And my face, you could tell, is just, I don't hide any emotion.
Okay, so this is where we insert Lou's face right here.
Gotta insert that
This
now.
is insert Lou's face because he said it. Now we're going to see it. So this is what Lou looked like. As you can see, he's concerned.
Yeah.
Did I look concerned? I think I was trying to act like I wasn't concerned.
Well, I think on your side, your camera was already cut off. So ironically, it's my side, and I'm just kind of like.
And so for our at-home viewers who are probably wondering what the heck happened, we were in our wonderful OnlyFans studio, which is why it's booked this weekend. And yes, he's correct. Midway through, our videographer came in, and I think he was afraid to tell us that the camera's gone down because he went back and forth between the three, my shot, Lou's shot, and the wide shot. And he goes, guys? And we were like, yeah, what's up? He's like, they're all shut off. And we're like, what?
And we were about 40 minutes in, and we only got about 20 or 30 minutes in of video. And one of the cameras completely died within the first 2 minutes.
Season 2, Episode 6, Relationships. Danny talks about dating apps.
So going back to the apps, yes, those exist, but they're very depressing. I don't know how normal gay people, and I'm not normal, right?
Well, which ones have you used? Go down the list.
Well,
Here, go down the list and then.
Okay, so here's the thing. So there's one called Grindr, which is so not grooming anybody. So don't come back and be like, you're grooming. That your kids probably already know about this, so there's nothing to be groomed about. Okay,
It's like the gay pride trigger word is grooming.
it totally is, especially for me. Like it just I see red because it's like the easiest thing for people to say nowadays. That's like the word that they go to. Oh, you're grooming. It's
Yeah.
like, we're really not. Like, okay, great. But so there's Grindr. Grindr is one of the relationship little apps, and so Grindr is for skinny people.
Okay.
So I'm obese by Grindr standards. Even though I put on there that I'm a bigger person, and still I get a few here and there. I get more though recently, which is like, this is not weird. It's just different for me. I've been getting a lot of transitional women. Yes. I got hit up by this beautiful
Female to male?
Female to male. No, male to female.
Oh, interesting.
Beautiful. And I was like, oh my God. And literally her her tagline was bottom slayer.
So, okay.
9 inches.
How do you feel when you're attracted to men, right?
Yeah.
On the outside, the transition is female, but down there,
Down below,
Still male.
downstairs,
does
in the basement.
I would imagine that doesn't do it for you just because down there is the same. Up here is what you're going to really be attracted to,
Yeah.
right?
I've never really kind of been in that situation. It was a first, and all I said was, "Wow, thank you so much." Like I didn't know what to say. She was like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Oh my God!" And she was beautiful.
Yeah.
She was gorgeous, and she was sending me all these dirty pictures, and I'm like, "Oh God, oh God, oh my God,
It's a new world for you.
what's happening? Why me? Like why me?"
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, everybody always compliments you on your eyes. You are pretty.
I'm not
you're a
though.
beautiful
I'm not
male.
pretty. Look at that. I got shoe polish. My contacts were bought at JCPenney's. No, they're not.
Oh, that's interesting.
Season 2, Episode 14, Danny and Crew. This is the episode where Danny talks about being drugged.
Now let's backpedal.
You don't even know how you
Because
got home.
I don't
either?
even know how I got home, which is the worst part of it
Yeah.
all in this whole entire thing, which I'm not fucking a child. I mean that's like shit you do when you're stupid.
Yeah.
Right? I have a very nice car. Like what is wrong with me? And what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right? Super WTF. And so at the bar, I was fine. We were in the patio. We were drinking. Everyone's having a good time. Blah, 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 blah. And like I said, then the next thing I remember having a wonderful time. And then I woke up at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning the today.
How did you feel? Did you feel like you had a hangover?
I don't really feel like I had a hangover. I feel a little queasy.
Queasy.
Like a little queasy, right? So let's backtrack now.
Okay, all
So obviously I'm missing a chunk of time.
Yeah.
Right?
And what happens when you are missing a chunk of time when you're drinking?
Oh, well, I don't know. Well, so here's where it gets interesting. So my mom happened to be hanging out with me. She's staying for a couple of days. And I came home and she got to witness it. Of course, I'll probably never hear the end of it. So she witnesses me. So I came home and I made myself a plate of spaghetti that was on a big plate, this big, right? And I went over the table and I must have passed out
On it?
on it. And what happened, I must have flipped it over. I fell out of the chair
Aye.
onto the floor, and the spaghetti landed all on my back.
Like a cartoon?
Like a cartoon. Like a cartoon. Or like a 3-year-old baby.
Oh my God.
So there's spaghetti all over. The rug is orange from
So
the grease and the
you're-
tomato
you're
sauce.
just
And I'm
crucified on the
passed
ground.
out, right?
Yeah.
My mom goes, "You smelled like alcohol." And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's the garlic from the spaghetti personally, because I put a shitload of garlic in there. And that's just my thing. I love garlic. And so she said, "Oh, your car smelled like alcohol." I was like, "What? Why were you in my car?" Like, she's like Nancy Drew. Like, I couldn't find your phone, and I went to go look for your phone in your car. I'm like, that's kind of weird, but okay, whatever. Thank you.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's just something else for her. And so I wake up in the morning. Like I said, I come out and there's spaghetti everywhere. It's on the wall. It's like I broke my trash can. I flipped over the plate of spaghetti onto my back. I broke my stainless steel trash can. I don't know how I broke it, but the lid's gone.
Aye.
Okay. I guess I must have fallen. She said I fell on it. She said I fell, and then I fell in my bedroom.
Okay, so
She
you
goes,
fell,
"Are
but do
you
you have any
sore?"
like
I don't-
marks?
No, I don't have any marks.
What the?
I don't remember any of this, by the way. I don't remember one damn thing. I took my contacts out and I just left them there on top of the sink. Okay, they're all hard and they were so sad. They were so sad, and I was like,
Story
"Oh God."
they would tell you if you could
Yeah, let
rewind
me get
it.
I got a new pair. I gotta get a new pair. And I didn't even throw up.
That
I
is
didn't
weird.
throw up. So I'm thinking that I might have gotten roofied. Now, I know people use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
But there's other factors that people need to know.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, how would you lose all that time and
I'm
not
pretty sure
remembering
I got
it?
roofied. And the
Yeah.
reason why is because the old dirty roommate works there at that bar.
Well, why didn't you start with that from this?
Well,
from the jump?
I wanted to say that for the end because I don't want to be
Wow.
I don't want to be accusatory. And I'm sure people there are very, very loyal to him. You know,
That's just too coincidental, though.
I think it's too coincidental.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's very coincidental. I think it's very now.
Season 2, Episode 9, Tres Primos. This is our opening promo and how we introduced Cousin Angelo to the show.
I was so excited for sun protection because it was a hot day. Thank you, Cousin Angelo. And as he gave us a grand tour of his amazing, sprawling Santa Paula compound, I was taken aback by all of the amazing Jurassic Park, the Cretaceous, whatever fucking plant that was. I have never been in such splendor at his estate. Oh, Cousin Angelo, thank you so much. Okay, let's keep moving. And I had no idea that Cousin Angelo had written a book. And here he is presenting me with his latest autobiography, Him, He, a pronoun, a prelude to a pronoun. As you can see, it was amazing. So much fun to be had. As the day progressed, we had a few drinks. We had some laughs. Oh, and I took the opportunity to run over and splash some water on Cousin Angelo because they say witches melt in water. And he was so kind to give me his amazing orange off of the tree. Okay, yeah, thanks. And so as we continued our day, I was so excited and ecstatic to have a drink with him finally. Oh, this fucking orange again. Thank you. Okay, bye. And so as the day ended, thank you so much. We had amazing drinks, amazing fun, and welcome to Do It Like Danny. So as you know, we recently sat down with Cousin Angelo, and as he took us on a tour of his amazing compound in Santa Paula. And you've all been wondering, because you've heard him, he's been our celebrity, what would you say he is? Celebrity who? Celebrity what? I'm not sure. As long as the word celebrity is in there, I'm sure Angela will absolutely love it. So we'd like to finally reveal Cousin Angelo.
Yeah.
Cousin Angelo, welcome to the show! The reveal. I like your drink.
Well,
Show the folks at home your
Yes.
drinks. Cheers. Cheers,
Just a little
cheers,
something
cheers.
to get us through the afternoon.
We wouldn't have it any other way, right?
Austin served this, so it may be radiator fluid. I don't know.
Season 2, Episode 28, Hollywood, Fast Food, and No English. Danny discusses executives and television.
Example, executives change shows all the time, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, as an audience producer, they always thought I was shit anyway. So it wasn't like, you know, I'm fine. If I'm shit, then I'm shit. No big deal, right? I'm going to make this shit shine. And so it actually had to do with Holly Pete Robinson or Holly Robinson Pete, whatever. I always mess up her name. So sorry, Holly. She was never mean to me, so I can't really be mean about it.
Yeah.
But what did come down the wire was she was a big proponent for Autism Speaks. And there was supposed to be an autism segment. And so they asked me, Danny, can you book families, you know, with autistic kids? Great, no problem. I can totally do it, right? And I had done it. My team had done it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, together, everybody. And so, you know, once you work on a show, you move on. Because you've got holidays, birthdays, like there's other shows, like some producers would be working on maybe 2 or 3 shows in terms of content.
Yeah.
Where I was working on specialty audiences across the board, right? And I'm not saying that like I did more work, and that's not the point of the story.
Yeah.
The point of the story is I had a few more things in my, a few more pokers in the fire, if you will, right? No big deal, because that's what they hired me to do. So in this particular day, the segment came, and so we're looking through the rundown, and there's no mention of it. Well, these people came, the Autism Speaks people, and they were like, you know, in blue, and they were representing, and it was a wonderful thing, but they didn't mention anything about it. Well, in the system, they had changed and moved the segment to a different day. However, nobody told me. And of course, probably now that I think back on it, should I have been paying attention to it? I probably should have.
Yeah.
Like, I got to take responsibility for it. But at the end of the day, when I'm doing all these other different things, you think somebody would have said, hey, we know you have specialty audience coming. You know, can you do me a favor and do this instead?
Yeah,
you
take
know,
care of it,
right?
yeah.
I got an email from Holly that had all of the executives CC'd on it.
Oh, okay.
Right? And she sent me an email saying, you know, I felt so horrible. You know, this is my reputation. And she was right.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this is her reputation. And I just said to her, you know, Holly, I'm really sorry. You know, unfortunately, they changed the segment. I have no control over that. We had already booked these people.
Yeah.
However, we'll invite them again. We'll give them VIP seating. We'll figure something out. Like, I always have, you know, a system in place in case of an emergency,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so there was a whole thing put in place, but she kept going. And she then, you know, she kept going and she kept going. And meanwhile, all the executives are on this. Not one executive
Said a word.
said a word and chimed in and said, hey, you know, Holly, sorry that happened. We do change things. Danny was doing his job, you know, because the principals don't run the show.
Yeah.
The producers and the executives do. But not one person on that team chimed in and defended me.
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't supposed to be defended. Maybe, you know, but I stayed true. I didn't falter. And to this day, in those emails, I stayed strong and I said, yes, it is what it is. We have to move on. Once you book something, we move on.
Yeah.
We don't sit there and I don't like monitor that particular segment to see. And yes, things change all the time.
It's fluid, like you
And
said.
she should have remembered that things change all the time.
Yeah.
And somebody should have been, the producer that was in charge of that particular segment.
Shouldn't they have let her
should
know?
Have said something to her and said something to me.
Yeah.
That's really crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Now, did that ever happen again? Absolutely not, because I made sure of it. Now, there was another time, too, when, I'll never forget this, and I was fairly new at Tyra. We were filming in Los Angeles, and it was like a Halloween episode, right?
Yeah.
Well, nobody had informed me that in the middle of the Halloween episode, they were going to shoot a pre-tape performance. I don't remember who. It was with some rapper or singer. And so they were going to do shots of the audience. Well, hello, the audience was in Halloween costumes. Nobody told me that they weren't supposed to dress up.
Oh, wow.
So here I was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, look at all of these people. I go into the meeting and I'm like, oh my God, everybody's dressed up for Halloween. And the executives look at me and go, what? You didn't get the email? And I'm like, no, I didn't get an email. Well, we 86 that because there was going to be a performance in the middle of that particular taping that's going to air at a later date. And we're going to use those shots of the audience, right?
So what did you have to do?
So they wrote it in the script where Tyra says to the audience, now take your Halloween costumes off, right? And now we're going to watch this, performance by T.I. or somebody.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I look terrible. Even though I was so excited because they had all dressed up and these people looked great. LA loves to do Halloween.
Yeah.
So people were like in these really elaborate costumes. And it was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so what I think they ended up doing is they had to keep, because, some of the shots had audience in them. So it wasn't like they could do different shots to the audience. Sometimes, actually a lot of shows, they will insert energetic people, pretty. They'll insert, energetic people that are like really into it. And in this particular instance, they
were stuck with
the Halloween people. So that was actually
Season 2, Episode 12, 50 and Fabulous. This is the episode where Danny kicks out Les Moonves from his own studio lot.
I have to leave with the best story ever. For me personally, I think this was the first week. Now, when you start a show, you Google everybody because you want to make sure you know who your executives are, right? That's just a given.
I mean,
Anywhere,
you should.
even any show you go to, any interview, you should always Google and figure out who these people are, right? Who you're going to interview with. So I had, Googled everybody. So in walks this man, right? Spry, walks through, and he starts walking around. And so, of course, I'm like, is this person? Security didn't question him. They were like, whatever. Nobody said anything. The pages were like, meh, on their phones. They weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hello, do we know who this guy is? And over microphone, I'm like, who's the gentleman that just walked in? And everyone goes, oh, we don't know. Nobody knew over the headset, right?
Some random crazy guy it could have been.
So, right? So he goes on the stage. He's standing behind the camera. And I go, can I help you, sir? And he never turned around. And he goes, I'm fine. And I was like, oh, sir, there's cameras here. I just want to make sure that you're safe. And he turns around and he goes, I'm Les Moonves. And I went, Mr. Moonves, you are more than welcome to do whatever you want. I just want to make sure you know that the cameras are here and I don't want you to get run over. And he looked at me and turned back around. Never said anything again, right? Meanwhile, on my right in the audience, Angelo, who's Leah's husband, Leah's mom, they were all sitting there in the audience as they did every now and then, right? So Angelo, who is Leah's husband, he is the nicest man. He is the most talented man. He is so kind. I could never say anything negative about him. And if I ever see him again, he's always like, oh my God, like super nice, right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh my God, during commercial, come over here. And I was like, what's up? And he goes, I can't believe you just tried to throw Les Moonves off the stage, right? He's like, who the fuck does that? He's like, you're fucking crazy. He's like, who tries to throw the husband who is the show like money and you're over here trying to throw him off the stage? But in my mind, I was like, I didn't know who, I didn't see his face. It's dark backstage.
Oh, yeah.
There's no lighting. Everything's on stage. And I Googled him. But what he looked like in his photos, I'm not going to lie, he looked like an old man. What was in front of me was very different. The energy was youthful, strong, spry. Like I would have never expected any of that to be in front of me. And again, he's like this, he's forward, and I'm behind him.
Yeah, you can't.
I never
see his
touched him.
face, Yeah.
I just whispered, can I help you? Once he turned, I knew who the fuck he was.
Now, at that time, did you feel embarrassed? Were you
Oh
scared?
my
Were you
God, of
nervous?
course I was fucking embarrassed. But I was also in fear of, oh fuck, he could get me fired.
Yeah.
I could get fired for this because I had heard rumblings that if you show disrespect or whatever, especially if Julie found out, right? So Julie found out. And she,
no.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And she goes, so I hear you trying to throw my husband off the stage.
On season 1.
on season 1, and I thought, this is it. This is my last day. I'll wait for Friday. I'll pack up my things.
Oh, man.
And I don't think many people know that. I don't think I really ever admitted it, except the only people that really saw. I think David knows, maybe Jeff. But, you know, Angelo saw it. Angelo, Leah's husband, not cousin, saw it all go down as I tried to throw Les Moonves off the stage. And I really didn't. I was more concerned because those cameras in that well were like a main concern.
Yeah.
And there were 4 of them that flew in and a jib. No, yes, of course, it's Les Moonves. And I'm sure he knows his way around a fucking stage. Yes, I'm sure. But when somebody walks in dark, no one's questioning, nobody knew who he was, I had to step in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just allow, I still have to protect the principals because if anything happens to them, guess what? I don't have a paycheck. Okay? So maybe that's why in the end, he realized I was just trying to do my job. I wasn't trying to hurt him. But I said to Julie, I said, yeah, did you like my prank? And she goes, oh, I'm going to tell him he loves pranks. I pulled that out of my ass. Out of my ass, I pulled that.
Wow, yeah. Yeah. I have no words.
Yeah, I saved that story. I saved that story. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so
great.
listen, with no words, as Lou says, I have no more words for this particular episode other than it's my 50th anniversary celebration. Is Lou still laughing?
Just like, oh my God, you're really
We're going to give Lou a minute.
Okay, that's really good. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. So as you can see, I have made Lou speechless. I hope I made you speechless this week. And I would like to say thank you for all of you watching. And I cannot wait to come back next week to share more of my story. And with all that being said, enjoy your time on this earth because you never know when your 50th anniversary is going to come around. I hope you have a great week. And remember to always do it like Danny. Or not!